Hey guys, it's Matthew here once again with a pretty quick follow-up video on the Wintertide brand Occultist that I was playing during the Gauntlet League. Overall, pretty pleased with how the character went down and the skill itself, or the whole combo of cold damage over time with all the other skills. And it was pretty obvious, like, as far as I knew for the past few years, cold damage over time was pretty damn good. There just wasn't too much left to explore. With Wintertide brand being on the table, it is a little bit different and a bit newer of a playstyle as well, to add to your cold snap, to your vortex, and just make things feel a little bit different and add a bit more variety onto your cold damage over time. But ultimately, similar to chaos damage over time, you kind of want to incorporate several of the skills to achieve the end result and get the sort of maximum output for your build. But Wintertide brand was mostly the hero of the build in the end. I got a 5-link running in the end, using Inspiration and Hypothermia as a couple of my links, and I dropped Faster Casting, but I was initially using Faster Casting for quite a while, just to cast faster and get stacks up faster, because you won't always get your maximum amount of stacks without investing into some level of cast speed. Otherwise, yep, you can see that character's a little bit thick. I've got like 45 attack block, 40 spell block, bunch of armor, a little bit of evasion, some energy shield that doesn't really regen very quickly at all, because I don't have anything like that. It's just kind of a damage buffer to begin with, and an incidental one at that. Nothing I was really going for. It just happened thanks to my gear and sort of spec. But otherwise, you could definitely spec a little bit differently and wear a bit different gear. And in the end, having 100% spell suppress would have been pretty nice, but my gear didn't really allow for that. Just was wearing basically garbage by the end of the character. Though I did find a Carcass Jack, and the area on Carcass Jack does help with a bit of clear on the build for Wintertide brand, for Vortex, and for Cold Snap. All of those do enjoy a little bit more clear for from your area, and I didn't spec into it otherwise. It was a very hardcore based, or hardcore and gauntlet based passive tree for me in the end. It was basically all life, some defensive nodes, some block nodes, that sort of shit. So given a softcore version, I think it can definitely pump some good damage and be a pretty fast character, and probably something I'll look into in the future. I got to around, I don't know, tier 9, 10 maps a few times, level 88. I was pushing up to level 90 to try and secure like a top 3 finish for the Occultist, but maps were pretty slow for me. Like, I didn't have many in the higher tiers. Like tier 9 I had maybe 1 or 2, and then I had like one tier 10 left, and then I was bumping all the way back down to tier 5s. But I was happy going pretty slow and steady, and pressing V occasionally, still doing some Scourge, up to a stack of like 40 or 50 at the max, and exploring whatever content I could. Though I didn't get full fragments for an Atziri, I was going to try that, and I only just barely got a key for Uber Labyrinth by level 88, and you'll see that in just a sec. But abysses were pretty damn dangerous. They're just chasing them around. As you can see, they keep spawning shit, and Gauntlet mods are definitely pretty unforgiving in a lot of circumstances with the 4 additional projectiles, and you can see that in both of my abyssal depth attempts. Basically, I had no idea how it would interact with the 4 proj, so I decided to go in and said I'd log out if it was too crazy, and it's a little bit too crazy. But the science was done, and I'm happy to at least have seen it, but I definitely didn't really want to be a part of that, given that it's just a much different situation than it normally is, and not really balanced around it. Overall, Gauntlet just isn't really for me. It is definitely just a very oppressing situation, and doesn't let me have a bit of creativity with my characters for just making some weird funky builds or something a bit less played. You kind of have to play the best possible shit to just be able to survive and thrive in this type of event. So ultimately, this was my death. Basically, I just then used my Frost Blink, and I thought it was on cooldown when he teleported me, so I was just kind of stuck like running around, and the barrage came in and destroyed my life. So that's how it was. unfortunate. Definitely should not have died there, but that's how it happens sometimes. So that's the end of this character. I hope you guys enjoyed the little Wintertide brand. Definitely a good playstyle to engage in right now, and probably will be at the start of next league. I think it should be a very solid starter unless some monumental changes come upon us. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.